But it takes skill to like dominate someone else. I mean, these people train their whole lives. Literally, some of these people since they were like teenagers in not just striking, in different styles of Muay Thai, of karate, of boxing, and then the wrestling of jiu-jitsu and traditional like Roman Greco and stuff like that. Like, it's insane. These people have
it's pretty wild,
crazy backgrounds.
I would say, would I watch it for like as a hobby? Probably not. I'd probably never really get into it. Watching it while hanging out with friends and talking about it, 100%.
We should watch.
It was very, very interesting once you were like, I don't know.
We should do a few jiu-jitsu lessons, like maybe take it jiu-jitsu for a year or something, and then watch jiu-jitsu. Because like some of the girls' jiu-jitsu is very, because jiu-jitsu is not about size.
Yeah.
It's about, movements and strategy.
Yeah.
It's like chess on like, a 3D, it's crazy. You're watching the like just little strategies, like why is she tucking her elbow in, and all of a sudden it becomes this like crazy move and someone's getting choked out and they tap out before they
it's just wild.
go 9-8.
I just could never I've never punched anyone before in my life. I'm just not a fighter. I just don't have that capability.
Oh, yeah, I think you do.
I probably do.
Everyone does.
I would say pregnant, 100%. I want to knock bitches out all the time. I think people are stupid. I think people need to get out of their heads.
Yeah.
Too many people are just in their heads. That's the whole conversation I was having earlier with you about the whole stereotype of the lazy Mexican, which is not fucking real.
There's lazy people everywhere.
There's lazy people and
But if one stereotype is true, it's that Mexicans work harder than fucking most people.
And here's the thing. I don't know why, but like when I hear people talk bad on Mexican, like on any race, I can honestly just fucking...
You relate to Mexican because you're Mexican.
It fucking pissed me off. Like...
Yeah.
You should... If you were to document every single Mexican that came across that border, they would steal your jobs. Your jobs would be stolen, and they'd be stolen downright fair.
Because they work harder than you.
Exactly. And everyone fucking knows that. Because they work harder when they're not even being paid correctly.
And they'd be like, oh, you need another certification? Okay, I'll get that. I did it at night while I did 2 other jobs.
Like that kind of shit. So that's where I'm going with this is everyone's so sensitive and so upset and woe is me. And I'm not saying because someone has it harder it does not validate your feelings. I'm just saying that maybe whatever you're fighting for, like being called a birthing person or fighting for birthing chess, maybe that's not the big fight right now. Maybe the big fight is that everyone needs equality and everyone needs justice and everyone needs to be respected.
Yeah, like what
I think
we're fighting about sounds and words.
Yeah.
When there's people really being assassinated.
100%. That's fucking crazy. The assassination and
Haiti.
Did they ever figure out have they zoned in on anyone? Because they were just killing random people.
The crazy part is
because Haiti was like, hey, were you there? Boom, boom. Like,
well,
like they did it to a few people.
It's weird. I have no idea what's going on.
Shot on scene.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories going on, which could be true.
Because it's an American.
Some conspiracies are very true. Gulf of Tonka. I mean, look it up. And it's not like look it up. It's fake. No, like go to government sites. They will tell you about shit that we've done that's fucking really shady. But
which, by the way, I think should be taught in schools.
Yeah, like those things should be taught in schools, and they probably will be now because it's far enough away. It's like, oh well, that's almost 100 years ago that we nearly started a war for embargo. But so the person that got assassinated in Haiti was one of our, like, not puppets, but we propped him up. It was like this person that was going to run Haiti as someone in our interests.
Yeah.
Now, there's video of people going, this is the DEA. And in Haiti, it's not uncommon for DEA to do raids. It's just pretty common there. Doesn't matter who you are, they will do raids. And they will, like, crack down on shit. So they break down the doors. Now, this politician, I don't want to use the wrong words. Was he the prime minister or the guy that got assassinated? I forget what his title exactly was. But he had bodyguards. And those bodyguards either didn't react or they just were completely convinced by this DEA ploy thing. But they're like, this is the DEA, we're coming in. They break in. Dead. They find a few of the people that were, accused of being there. They killed them. And I think they were there. So I think it's proven now that those people were dead now. That they killed the people that were there. Or four of the people, one of the people was arrested. It's just, it's very convoluted. There's like, a spider web of branches. Where they're like, there's Cuban ties, there's American ties, there's ties to all, the
North Korea.
DEA and the CIA. And, it's like, well, what the fuck is going on? What is this?
Like, part of me wants to know, right? Like, part of me wants to know everything. The other part of me wants to stay naive and in the dark because I'm too afraid of all the shit that goes on underneath our nose. Because I know it's happening. I'm not an idiot. I know that there's certain shit that goes on that's just dirty.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's why I want to just fucking burn it down, start over. Like,
if you talk to anyone in the FBI or CIA,
yeah,
they always go, well, I don't know a lot, but what I do know is the world's a lot scarier than you think, and we got to be careful. It's like, wait, what? What does that mean? And it's like, it could mean anything. I mean, can you imagine being the CIA right now who's on that, like, particular mission? They're like, well, what happened was we like falsely elected this guy to do Haiti, but it turns out he was going to turn his back on us, so we assassinated him. But don't worry. We're going to figure it out.
Oh, God.
Or who knows? Who knows if it was even the DEA. It could have been someone posing as the DEA, someone who worked for the DEA, who now works for some sort of guerrilla group.
I thought you were going to say Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue.
It's like, yeah.
It's a big
into marketing.
It's a big corporation, and they hire people to do all kinds of different jobs. Yeah. And they give you the tools to be a boss.
There's a lot of things that I just haven't been paying attention to these days.
Cuba's going going through their own little revolution right now, too.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on that, but I've heard it. I've heard through the grapevine.
They're protesting. They're against a lot of the communists. Mm-hmm. It's not working out for them.
I mean...
And the easiest thing that we can do to help them is to lift the embargo on Cuba.
Yeah.
So, like, there was...
Because that's what it is, right? Like, we can't help them because...
Yeah. And just, like, Obama lifted the... basically, like everyone says, like, Cuban cigars are illegal. Like, you can't find them. That used to be the thing growing up. If you're like, oh, Cuban cigars are the best cigars, you can't find them because they're illegal.
Yeah.
And if you have them, it's contraband. It's illegal. Obama lifted that. Trump put it back on and was like, no, we're not doing any fucking trades or...
Why?
No, it's crazy because they're a communist country. But the thing is, they're a small island real close to Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as close to Florida as Alabama is close to Florida. It's actually, I think it's closer. It's insanely close. And it's a small country. We could help them out so much, but by just trade, what do you call that? The embargo, like basically imports and exports, fucking buying and selling their shit.
Yeah.
They have cigars, they've got sugarcane, they've got all kinds of stuff that they want to sell to us that we want.
Yeah, so why don't I don't
why not do that? So Trump put a little clamp on that and was like, no, we're not doing that. We're going back to old school. Fuck Cuba. And then Biden's like, we'll keep those.
That's weird.
Hasn't lifted them yet.
He weirds me out with the things he chooses.
He might lift them, might not.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, like Obama, that was like one of the good things Obama did. It was like, oh, good, this helps Cuba. This helps us.
And another thing, why are people, like, I get it. I get that some families aren't going to use it appropriately, but that's in any scenario. But this whole tax credit, so usually you get a lump sum every year around tax time for your kids. But instead, they want to start making it a monthly thing.
Or in addition to.
Or in addition to, right? Yeah. So, okay, so you're still getting a lump sum, but you're also getting
in addition
$300 too.
$300 per child or whatever.
I guess what my question is why are people so upset about that? Like, why are you upset that the fact that... Because if a kid isn't getting food all the time, or if a kid isn't being able to get the stuff he needs for an education, he or she, or it, whatever it wants to go by, it's just, why do you want to not have that opportunity for someone?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, like, I honestly don't think there's a lot of opposition to it. I think a lot of...
No, there is.
Is there some?
There's, I won't name names, but I know people that
people that are against it.
That are against it, and I don't get it. I don't understand how bettering someone's life that necessarily doesn't have the option to be better. Yeah. Because one, minimum wage fucking sucks. Two, people can't afford to live under $15 an hour. Even $15 an hour is barely doing it.
Yeah.
You still have to, no one can work a part-time job and have an apartment.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's,
you know what I mean?
We could talk about the gap all day between the price of commodities, inflation, and versus...
But what's crazy to me is some people that don't have these things, that are living in poverty, sometimes those people are against these things too.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why we wouldn't want...
Well,
access to stuff.
I really feel like
I don't know.
No one's laying a clear vision out of what the problem is versus what the solutions are.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah.
So no one knows, like, okay, let's talk percentages. And people go crazy with math. Like, no. Let's just think about things on a basic level. Milk is $1.50 more than it was in the 80s. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
It's probably more than that. Whatever.
It's like $3 more, but yeah. Sure.
Sure. Say it's $3 more. Say it's milk's $3 more a gallon than it was in the 80s.
Well, let's put it this way. Grass-fed, pasteurized, organic milk is $5. Ow.
Okay. So let's say your average milk is $3 more a gallon than it was in the 80s. In the 80s, you made an average laborer would make
$7.95.
$18 an hour. Like say like a framer. This is the shit that I know. So framing, you would make like $20 an hour if you were a good framer. Now you go and you frame, you make $20 an hour. It's literally hasn't changed since the 80s. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
It might make a couple dollars more an hour, but it doesn't add up to the sum of the inflation. So your housing has tripled. Your milk has tripled. Everything's tripled except for